Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. We are live and on the air and glad to be here. It's been a while since I've been able to talk and visit with you. This is one of my favorite times of the week. I get to sit down and talk to all these coaches, and we're pretty good ways through the season. Most of these guys know what they've got their hands on as far as their attack and how far they think they can go, without injuries. And then if you do get an injury, what do we do here? What do we do there? We're in week 7, game 7. And as we started off, as always, we're going to go down to Alabama, and we're going to start off at Helena High School with the head coach of the Helena Huskies, head coach Richie Busby. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing well, Stuart. Good to talk to you after a couple of weeks. Glad to be on.
Yeah. Let's pick up where we left off, and I guess we came down, and I want to tell you, Coach, I get the business from these guys around here packing my show up and coming down to Alabama and bringing Stork Vision down to your stadium. They like for me to hang around here, but I will tell you this. I mean, there were people on Twitter actually bashing me why I wasn't at another game that went on in town, and apparently it was a great game. And but for me, it's about friendships, it's about relationships, and I really enjoyed coming down for the second time. And you brought to me a great opponent, like you said. You said this is the biggest game. This is our rival. This would be like to us a Riverdale Oakland or one of those big games, Riverdale Blackman or a backyard brawl to us. And it was great because they brought everything they had. The band. The whole school showed up, and your whole school showed up, and the patronage of high school football was right in front of us for 48 minutes. And you saw two ball clubs just go at it. And Anthony Fiorella, my play-by-play guy for that game, and he asked you point blank. He didn't have a whole lot of questions for you, Coach, before the kickoff. And Anthony just asked you, well, who's their best player? And you point blank said it's a Copeland kid. And he said. Do you have anybody that you could just put on him and keep on him the whole game? And you said, no, I don't. And there's nobody on my team that can hang with that kid. He is above all of us, and he is a fantastic football player. But I'm going to let you take it away. But, man, we got the sunset. We got everything, and we saw a real good football game, Coach Busby.
Well, what I will say to your listeners in Tennessee, I think for you to be able to come down here, and I will say you're part of school history, that was the largest crowd, money gate-wise, that we've had in the 9-year school history here in Helena. And I don't look over a whole lot during the game, but when I did look around, and then I went back on the game from the drone site from the end zone on the far end, it was pretty much, there was not another human you could get in that stadium that night, and the field was circled 4 and 5 deep. It looked like a third-round playoff game of two really close teams in proximity. It was that type of atmosphere, so I'm glad you got to see that. But, yeah, just, we knew that there were some matchup issues that we had in that game, and we had 3 or 4 starters out. The Washington kid didn't play, our Division I tailback. Our Division I corner, J.T. Alvis, was out that night. Our defensive end, Matthew Thompson, was limited. We're starting to get some of those kids back, but playing a crosstown rival, without your guys, we kind of were fishing on how we were going to move the ball and create offense that night. But Hunter Hale stepped up again that night like he did the week before against Chilton County. Had a school record 14 catches and 181 yards. He had another great night. A.J. Horsted rushed the ball 39 times against Pelham for 181 yards. Had an unbelievable night. And then, Hunter had the touchdown catch to start overtime, and then he had the interception on 4th down to end it on their possession in overtime. So just a great win for us. And, on paper, They were the better team as far as the experience and the seniors, upperclassmen and that kind of stuff. And we were younger with injuries, but, our kids found a way. And, that's what we're proud of about the way they do it each week.
So you get back off that game, and then you roll into a Jackson Olin, and Pelham played them earlier, and they already played them. Hadn't Pelham already played Jackson Olin? Okay, and they did pretty good against them, and so I felt like you guys would do pretty good, but wasn't so. I mean, sounds like to me the score I was getting long about third quarter. You guys were fighting for your life in that game in week 6, game 6.
Yes, and perfect trap game scenario, whatever you want to call it. Trap game's not the best word, but perfect letdown game. We're coming off back-to-back overtime wins, playing with some guys that are making plays that hadn't usually done it for us, and then we roll in coming off our biggest rivalry,
little new money.
Overtime. Yeah, in a rival overtime win, and we're going into homecoming against Jo, who, without question, has the best front seven that we will see all year. And our running game is limping. Washington's still out. AJ had a deep thigh bruise, had to have fluid taken off his thigh, late last week. I mean, just we're limping going against the team that's got the best front seven that we're going to see all year, and then the emotion of homecoming and all the stuff that goes on all week, and then you got to be able to figure out a way to channel enough energy to win a football game.
Captain Distraction came in with homecoming.
It's like I told my radio after game, I hate homecoming. Don't mean that in a bad way as far as what homecoming represents. I hate the fact that I am challenged to try to win a football game on Friday night after a week of just absolute free for all.
Yeah,
and then they expect you to lock them down. And sometimes you're able to schedule somebody that maybe will come in there and you're just much more talented than, and you can get away with playing subpar and still win the game. But in 6A football in Birmingham, there's just not a lot of people.
There's no more. There is no more. People don't realize that if you go in half orientated, or you think you can just throw on a football helmet and just get out there and play the game, you'll get your brains mowed in. I mean, you people don't realize that, and because it gets into the game of time, and then the score, and then you start rushing, and then once you get back up into the game, then you got to have enough energy to knock them out. I mean, kids don't understand. I mean, and it's hard.
Parents don't understand either.
Well, and it takes a lot of energy. Yeah. It takes they don't realize the amount of energy and focus that they're blowing just through certain plays. Well, and then certain kids are expending more energy than others, and and somewhere in the game, as my old buddy Coach Ab said, somebody's got to take a break and rest. You got to rest somewhere, and that's when you're hoping they either catch you or you catch them, and you can get them big then. But but go ahead.
We have to play with so much emotion to overcome some of our size and different issues that we deal with. And when you've been out all week rolling houses and making floats and doing whatever you're doing, there is no energy left in the tank come Friday night. You may fool yourself and tell you there is, but when you haven't been eating right, haven't been taking in fluids, haven't been sleeping.
Yep.
And I want my kids to enjoy homecoming. They go through this one time, but I ask the parents, I'm like, look, on Thursday night, we got to get these kids in by 9 o'clock and get them something to eat, get them in the bed, let them rest, fill them up with fluids. But and some listen. I know they do. Some of the parents do the best in them, but then some just, they don't. And then come Friday night, 7 o'clock every year, about, first into the first quarter, everybody's tongue's hanging out of their mouth, and everybody wants to know what's going on. Well, they haven't been doing what they're supposed to have been doing all week, so. But we survived it. That's the most important thing.
You know where that really came in as a reality check with me when I ran cross country, because if you don't get your rest, you're in for a world of hurt and a miserable race, and you won't do it but one time. You won't do it but
I'll say
one
that.
time.
That's
You
right.
know, and I mean, cross country will break you of that quicker than anything of not being prepared.
Any strength coach in this country at the college level will tell you the number one nutritional supplement, and it's free, is sleep. And it's the one that the guys will not take advantage of.
Wow.
And, that's when your body regenerates itself, muscle are rebuilt from being tore down the day before, the fibers. It's the number one nutritional supplement in the world, and it's free, and the kids won't get enough of it.
Unbelievable. We move on, and your next opponent is fast approaching, and Pelham played them and got out in the last of it, but Briarwood Christian is on the horizon, and Coach Cornish, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Briarwood, first and foremost, when you say Briarwood, they got an unbelievable tradition. But secondly, as everybody knows, their starting quarterback is committed to Clemson to play for Dabo, who is from Pelham, the school you came down to broadcast us playing. So anytime that your quarterback is committed to a school like Clemson, he's good. And he's 6'4", 215 pounds. He
Wow.
can run. He can throw it. He can do – I mean, if you're committed to Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, those type people, there's not a throw you can't make. There's not a run you can't make. And
I saw this. I saw a little bit of this team. They line up 5 wide all the time, don't they, Coach?
They do.
That's
they do.
them. I saw a little bit of their offense. I saw a little bit of their video.
Yeah, and they were up 20 points on Pelham in the fourth quarter.
They were.
Before we played Pelham, they came back and scored 20 unanswered. And
that was the worst video ever. I watched that game.
Beat them on the last play.
Yeah. It was a thriller. Yeah. So you're going to have your hands full. Now, are you on break next week?
After this game, we have a bye week finally.
Okay.
Thank
So
goodness.
you're on break when we go on break. So after Friday night, you're on fall break.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
Not the school part, but it's our bye week in football.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's your bye week in football. Cool. We're in bye week too, all in the whole state of Tennessee or in our area.
Gotcha.
Well, okay. Well, we're going to be off next week, so we will catch you on week. It'll be week 8, game 8.
Yep.
Actually, week 9, game 9. But week 9, game 8. You know what I mean? Because we'll skip a week.
Yep.
But anyway,
right.
Hey, we will catch up with you then. And thanks again for being on Inside the Headset, and thanks for having us down in Helena.
Thanks. We're glad to have you every year, Story, and hope you get to come back. Go Huskies.
See you. Bye.